There we are. We are live. Welcome to the show, peoples.
Excellent.
Peoples from all over. We like peoples. This is the pre-stream, folks. This is where we randomly talk about random stuff and occasionally. Oh, I gotta do this. Hang on. Second is.
Excuse me.
Here we go. All right, here we go.
You know what's amazing? The difference in the temperature where you are versus where I am. We're not that far away from one another. Oh, chicken.
Yeah, hang on a sec. I forgot to share that stuff with you so you actually see what's going on here. See, this is why we do this, folks, is because we got to get all of this working properly.
Put all the dials and knobs.
Yeah, the little dials and knobs and the
make sure we haven't forgotten to poke any buttons.
The blippity blobs and everything else and testing everything else. Squirrel! You hear that?
Hear what?
Squirrel! No? I must have...
Not hearing nothing.
Do that wrong. Do that again. Must have did it wrong.
Purposefully do it wrong. Then when you fix it, you know that you fixed it.
Yeah, let's try it. Squirrel! You got it?
Oh, there we go. Heard the squirrel.
You got the sounds. All right, here we go. One more time with the... There you go.
I can't believe you caught Cookie in the act.
That's not Cookie.
That's not Cookie?
No, that is Lucifer.
Oh.
That's the first rooster we had.
Actually, Lucifer started out as Lucy.
Yes,
we thought it was a girl, just for everyone listening. We thought it was a girl. And since the name was already Lucy, we just wound up calling him Lucifer because it worked.
It worked, man. It was way easier. It was way easier. Yeah, that was another hidden rooster that it was almost a year old before it started doing that.
Yeah, like our last rooster. The last rooster we had, its name was Sesame.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little slower in development. We had to actually help him out of the egg and teach him to walk, drink, eat, all those things. My goodness, baby chicks are loud. Yeah. So he grew up and he acted like a girl. And we did have one. We had two roosters last time. The first rooster was definitely rooster pretty quick.
There you go. There you go. See, I figured out something cool. I figured out how to load videos and have them just click, boom, load, and go back. And
the background noise was pretty cool too.
Yeah, that was something I added when I edited the video. That's the good old Rogie out playing. I got one more Rogue right now. Bring up the other one for me. Go.
That's adorable.
He has a fascination with sticks that are 6-10 feet long.
Well, it's because they're so big. He'll never run out of bark to peel.
Uh-huh.
Because he doesn't chew on them so much as peel them.
Oh, no, he chews on them. Sometimes he breaks them. Sometimes he puts them somewhere and then he pushes until they break down to a smaller stick. Oh, no, he's pretty persistent. Funny as hell sometimes. So, yeah. There you go. For those in the pre-stream, you'll get to see these little videos as I get them up and loaded, and we'll play with them in the pre-stream. I'll keep them out of the primary stream.
I found a way to make the cat stop screaming at 4 a.m. to be let outside.
Did you? What'd you do to it? Shoot it?
No, he gets right by my head and he's meowing really loud. So I just reach my arm out and snatch him and hug him. He does not like it. He makes it like a strangled squeak and then wiggles like crazy to get away because he does not like being held. And then he wanders off and he doesn't meow for like an hour.
Well, that's good.
The first time I did that, I wasn't even thinking, because the last cat I had, whenever he came by my head and meowed like that, that's what he wanted. He wanted to be snatched and cuddled. This cat does not want that. This cat... He likes being near you and yelling at you. He does not like being cuddled up to.
Well, you know, different strokes for different cats. Actually, I made a mistake. It's 24 degrees here right now.
It's surprising the temperature difference.
Not really. You got to consider we're closer to the ocean. You're in a valley where it's like like the bottom of a pot where you just everything collects, all the
Valley
heat.
of doom and gloom. It's doomy in the summer because we get all the heat,
Hmm.
and then gloomy in the winter because we get all the cold.
Yes. Yes, and that's what happens when you're in a valley. You're surrounded on four sides by mountains there.
With the lake.
Hmm.
A friend of mine stayed over last night and was sleeping in the camper.
Hmm.
Because it was like a 32-degree day out yesterday, he was expecting not to really need a blanket. Gets to about 11:30 midnight,
Yeah.
and he was so cold, he like wrapped himself up in 3 blankets.
Forgets that the temperature plummets at night. It goes
Well,
from it goes from 30 degrees down to 12.
well, he's from Victoria,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really plummet that much in Victoria.
No, it's fairly regulated here because of the ocean.
Yeah. Whereas over here,
Yeah.
it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, soon as the sun goes down and quits baking everything, the heat just goes, I can leave now. And it just, because heat rises, cold descends,
Yeah.
simple physics.
And because the lake, we end up waking up and there's like a nice fog and mist over everything, just drenching everything.
Oh, yeah. Load. All right, so be putting all kinds of different videos in here. Might even put one up of my oldest boy playing in his last solo jazz band.
That's kind of cool.
Just to showcase that. Let's see. Well, we got another minute and a half to kill, folks, before we go to official start time for the show. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Always good to see folks. Let's crank those numbers up.
I have an update on the chicken saga.
Okay, what chicken saga update? Oh, the feathers and the rats. Yes, okay.
Yeah, the feathers and the rats. Unfortunately, the rats have been finding new and diverse ways to get into the coop, and we haven't been able to get rid of more than a few of them. They're not falling for most of the traps. They must have a smart leader. Now, I heard from someone who grew up on a homestead that when the rats get into your coop, you have 2 options. 1, find the colony and remove it fully. Or 2, build a whole new coop that there's absolutely no way in, meaning you need to put like an inner lining of chicken wire inside, like two walls, basically an outside wall and an inside wall, and put chicken wire on the inside. So if they chew through, they can't get through the chicken wire. So we do have to rebuild the chicken coop. Well, we've been working towards getting there.
It's being rebuilt this summer anyway, so
we're gonna have to start next week, and if we want our chickens to be okay, because the rats are they start on the other side of our one chicken. Now both of her wings are missing feathers.
That's not good.
And we can't really put rat traps in there with the chickens.
No, because there's a very good chance of the chickens getting their head in them.
Oh yeah. They're very curious, and they have no thoughts.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's the chicken that's on the bottom rung that's getting all the issues, which makes sense. She's at the bottom of the pecking order, so she's getting picked on.
Yep, that's how it works.
Yeah, so that is the current update. Hopefully next time we show up, next time I show up, we will have a new chicken coop, and her feathers will be growing back.
Yep. Well, next time will be for 2 weeks for you. I'll be back next week with another interview. I have interviews booked up through till these next week I got an interview. I'll double check. Yeah, next week I have an interview. Okay. That'll be my last interview for June, and then I won't have an interview until into July. I'm taking the 30th off because it's the Canada Day long weekend.
You're getting fancy. Taking days off? That's super fancy.
Hey, got to do it once in a while. Got to do it once in a while. I've been fairly productive over the last week, even though I was recovering from that bloody sickness I had last time.
Yep, which you passed on to me.
Yeah, okay. Blame your daughter. She started it.
I'm not so sure this time.
Mm.
But sure, we'll blame her. It
I
was easy.
am, because the timing for me getting sick coincides with the last time I saw her, and she was just slightly getting over what she had.
Mm.
And she was the only person I was exposed to that could have gotten me ill.
Yeah, I didn't catch anything from her, but somehow I caught something from you. You
Well,
must have mutated it just right so
I
it affected me.
she gave it to me, it mutated, and then it got you. And it got
Yeah.
you, and it got your brother.
Yep. Poor guy.
Your
He
younger,
did not sound good.
your younger brother. It got him, and then it managed to skip your older brother.
Hmm.
He managed to survive it all. Could be from
Awesome.
all the crap he's dealing with when he goes to the construction sites.
Hmm. Breathing in that cement dust and all of the wood particles, definitely good for your health.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It acts like diametrous earth against all the bugs.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. And on that happy note, little music, carry us right into the show.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
There we have it. It must be time.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress Plugins A to Z, not Z.
All right. I'm going to have to wind that one back because we got some sound issues and I want to make them.
We do. Apparently, I sound like I'm talking into a ceramic jug, and
Well,
music's gone wonky.
yeah. Well, the wonky noise was I tried to add some noise suppression to it. And the jug was the compressor because the wonky was just before that. So let's see here. See, you got to show up earlier, Hemdian, and give us this feedback on any sound issues. That way we can sort of figure it out as to what's happening. Because I'm trying to clean up the sound from Amber, but I can't hear it at my end. I have to listen to it when it's recorded.
Yeah, that does make it a little bit difficult.
Yeah, that's the whole problem.
Oh, said sound was good for the pre-stream.
Oh, and then it went wonky. Okay.
And then it went wonky when we went live, like with the image.
Yeah. No.
Interesting.
Well, we didn't go live with the image. Everything else
No?
was fine. The only thing that had changed was that I had added well, the music went wonky at the end of the music, but that was during the music. Right at the end of the music, I added compression. I wanted to see if the compression would help.
So the compression was not your friend.
That was not my friend. All right, let's wind this back and start it all over again. It must be time.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress Plugins A to Z, not Z.
It's episode 651, and we've got plugins for a variety of memberships and highlighting and some WordPress news, all coming up on WordPress Plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress Plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlooking beautiful southern Vancouver Island on a gorgeous 24 degree sunny day here in beautiful downtown Victoria. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber overall.
There we go. I got slightly better on that one, but hey, got all kinds of crazy things happening here. We're trying to improve our sound. We make it worse, and so I go and do all of that, and hopefully the sound continues. Keep us apprised, folks, if the sound comes through kind of wonky. Everything in the pre-stream is only stuck on the YouTube channel. It doesn't go into this portion of the show, which those of you listening on your podcast apps, that's what you're listening to now. With all of that being said, we've got all kinds of news, great stuff happening today, and great plugin reviews. And with that...
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
So, welcome to episode 651, your weekly dose of WordPress wizardry from WP Plugins A-Z. I like the picture, sort of. The face is definitely a little extra wonky. That's okay, though. The guy's face is really kind of wonky, too. It looks like, well, there was an ugly stick smacking them around, that's for sure.
Great big one. He hit every branch on the ugly tree on the way down.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Hamdian said, however, the show just wouldn't be the same without sound issues. The joys of life. So hopefully everyone out there is staying nice and cool in this lovely heat that we're currently having. I know that I'm going swimming a lot, but I live right by a lake, so that's probably why. Remember to drink a lot of water and don't skimp on the salt when it's hot out. I know a couple people who didn't realize they were supposed to ingest salt along with water, so they were just flushing all this stuff out of their system. You got to actually have salt in order to properly retain the water, so don't skimp on the salt. Go eat a bag of chips and drink a bunch of water. It'll work.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of reminders before we start the show today. You can join us here in person every Monday at about 12 p.m. Pacific time and enjoy our show. You'll either find both of us together about 12:30 or 12:15ish for the pre-stream, or you'll find just him. And I think you go on like right away at about noon.
I go on directly at noon.
Yeah, so you have a 15-minute time lapse there, but you'll find us.
Mm-hmm.
And show notes for this show are up within 24 hours of the show airing. You can find them on the homepage at WPPluginsAtoZ.com. This is a value for value show. So if you want to help us out, give some value. Like if you get any value from the show, throw the value back at us. And you can help us out by hitting the like button or turning the show up really loud so people around you can hear us. And then I bet they'll fall in love with the show and pass the word on absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And if you stick around to the end, you have a chance to hear some good questions. Sometimes the questions are good for newbies. Other times they're good for old hands, and oftentimes we end up in discussion. And if you're in the chat, you can add in your own question and we'll do our best to answer it.
Absolutely. Interaction. That's what we want, folks. Interaction.
Definitely. So our artist today, I was honestly not aware that this was Firefly. Firefly usually does better. I was thinking you tried out another AI.
No. Firefly just managed to blow this one, but I wanted a picture that represented the title, and this is what it gave me. Nice thing about it is, hey, it's a guy and a girl in this thing. That could be Amber, but if y'all really want to see her face, we need more people here live.
So if anybody out there has ideas for images they'd like to have here for the show, you can send them in to us. We would love to have some art done by actual people instead of AI. AI does weird things to people's faces.
Probably within the next 2 weeks, I have finally figured out how to rebuild the art generator or acceptance of art and build it into a customized system. Well, the website I launched last week uses the same technology I'm going to use, and I can just
awesome.
redo it to allow for a small membership section on our site where people can contribute art to the show. I've just got to pull it all together. It'll take me about half a day to get it all done. So it is coming. It's not like I haven't been trying. I've tried several methods to create this, and I finally landed on one.
Excellent. And in the meantime, if you have an idea right now and it can't wait, send it to our email. That works too for right now.
Yep, absolutely. You can always email it to us. We'll take it via email. All right, with all of that, let's move into...
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! And now the news with Amber.
I just got distracted by him being AI is not real people. We need to advocate for AI rights.
Don't worry, that's coming.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Don't worry, that's coming. I'm sure there's organizations being formed now.
All right, so the first thing we have today, as per usual, is WordPress vulnerability report from Solid WP. In this list, way better than last time. There's only 97 vulnerabilities. 81 are plugins, 16 are themes. So of those, we have 52 patched for the plugins with 29 left to go. And then for the themes, we have 7 patched with only 9 left to go. So they're doing pretty good. They've definitely worked their way through. There was like nearly 400 last time. So I'm impressed. And then we have the next one of patchstack.com. These guys are always the most up to date. You get pretty much live, like the last one was 22 minutes ago. Very useful. And you can flip through and check out all the different things. All the vulnerabilities for posts. Wow, my brain is working real well.
Yeah, well.
Plugins. I went through all the P's. So plugins, themes, what have you, they will tell you what's going on in real time.
It's something I learned last week about PatchStack. I'd heard about their plugin. They have a plugin. If you want to go pay for the fee, you put it in your site and it'll monitor for plugins. And they have a system that will proactively put in things to help mitigate the security issues that can occur. I haven't dug down deep into it yet, but it is something to give consideration to if you are concerned at all about your security on your website.
It is worth looking at if you don't have, if you're looking for a security thing.
Well, the thing is, even if you're keeping your thing up to date, we just went through, there's still 29 plugins that are not patched.
Yeah.
So they might find the vulnerabilities, but whether they get them patched quick enough and whether you catch it when they've released the patch. There's some mitigation in the plugin that PatchStack offers to help protect your site against these vulnerabilities. Like I said, I haven't dug down deep into it yet, but I know it exists, and I'm starting to dig a little deeper into it to see how it works. Anyway, I thought I'd bring that little tidbit to it.
All right, and we have a lot of news today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to start with these. First of all, WordPress turned 22.
Woohoo!
There's loads of celebrations. And this right here is mostly about having pictures of the celebrations from around the world.
Mm.
But down at the bottom, there's a post with a little bit of information, and it has a lot of good links to it, including a link to 5 layers sharing thoughts and ideas from Matt Mullenweg, some information about the AI team, all kinds of good stuff there. So worth going and checking out.
Cool. Yeah, it turned 22 the same day your brother turned 18.
I know. It's very easy for you to remember WordPress's birthday because of that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I just find that one kind of funny.
Next thing we have here is a new FAIR project aims to decentralize WordPress.org services, backed by Linux Foundation and hundreds of contributors. So this is huge. It's a coalition of WordPress contributors, open source organizations, and businesses that have launched the project they hope will reshape how WordPress sites connect to the wider ecosystem. And they're hoping to remove the dependency on WordPress.org, but they also want to secure the project's future. So it's very interesting. Unfortunately, it's caused a lot of division in the community, but I like where they're going with it. And I would recommend anybody who's interested, go and check this out and give it a read.
Go and check it out and give it a read. If you're I haven't done it yet. I haven't downloaded the plugin stuff to build out, see what I can do. It will allow for full federated repositories. You can get the code off of GitHub, set up your own federated repo, you set up your keys and submit them to it. This is going to, in my opinion, change everything about WordPress. It's going to hit tons of resistance at first.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are like, oh my God, well, how am I going to protect this? Well, you think about it, one of the big things, people don't realize that when they download Apache, Linux, or all those come from mirrors all over the internet. They don't come from a central repo. And that's the same thing with most open source. It comes from mirrors. And that's the one thing that WordPress doesn't have. And I watched some of Matt's interviews on it. I will give him credit. He was hit from the side with it. It was dropped on him suddenly while he was at WordCamp Europe, which is when this was announced while WordCamp Europe was happening. So he said, "Well, I got to think about it." So yeah, we'll give you that. You know, you were surprised. So, but in the end, he's pulling back and going, well, we got to protect the repo, have that central point. It protects this and that and data and everything else. It's like, yes and no. So there's going to be a lot coming out of this. And over time, we'll probably be bringing this one back from time to time over the next several months, because this is going to take a while to filter through the community and see how it is. Because of this, we've lost a big voice. We'll talk about that later. So at any rate, it is interesting. I personally think it's a great idea. And I think it is, once it gets settled and accepted, it's going to change the way WordPress works. It's not going to change WordPress. It's just going to change your dependency upon a personally owned website.
Which I do agree with that.
Yeah. That's the whole problem, is that WordPress.org is the personal property of Matt Mullenweg.
Which nobody really knew until recently.
Well, we'd heard hints of it, and it had been sort of mentioned, but it wasn't in our consciousness. We hadn't thought about it until he used the power of owning it to do what he did last year. And that is where the problem lies.
So the next thing I have on here is a WordCamp Europe 2025 midway recap. So there's some big conversations and quite undercurrents going on. There's a lot of information. What the writer of this article does is they touch on a bunch of different things. Now, the one that I am most interested in was the unofficial side event that was being put on by Control-Alt-Org.
Yep.
The reason I'm so excited about it is because they have key speakers from Free Software Foundation, Typo3, Open Source Pledge, the WP Community Collective, and Aspire Press. And they have a panel discussion on the future of WordPress featuring Juste Devoc, Say Reed, and Sarah Savage, moderated by Francesca Morano. And it's sold out. It only had room for 200 people, and it's sold out for, like, they ran out of people who wanted to join. I'm really interested in learning more about how that goes.
It's going to continue, and I think it's going to do well.
Yeah. I really am glad that this is happening
Yeah.
because conversations that should be taking place more loudly haven't because people haven't felt like they can. And now it's happening. I
Wasn't
love it. It's like watching a flower bloom.
wasn't so much they felt like they couldn't, it's that WordCamp didn't allow them.
Okay.
A lot of these conversations, people propose these sort of things at a WordCamp, but they were disallowed. They were not approved to be talks at WordCamps. So
I see. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're having side things, and I love seeing this.
Yeah. And it's really great that the WordPress community is reforming in a new way. And it's going to take time. The same way WordPress grew up in the beginning, now it's time for them to turn into an adult. Actually, you kind of think about it, WordPress is 22, so it is time for them to become an adult.
Yep. Okay, so the next thing I have here is about a second plaintiff joining class action alleging automatic Mullenweg disrupted WP engine access. Now, this has been going on for a while, but now that another person has joined, the amended complaint adds New York business owner Sharon Shanzer, who runs RLD Group, to the case alongside Ohio-based Ryan Keller, who first sued in February. Both run small agencies that rely on WP Engine to host and manage client sites. They claim Automatic deliberately disrupted those services in a retaliatory move that left them and potentially hundreds of thousands of other WP Engine customers scrambling, and it had nothing to do with the main topic of the trademark dispute.
Yep.
So it's becoming nuclear at this point. So be aware of what's going on. I don't know if it's going to explode to the point where it's going to affect everyone like it did at the beginning, but it is something to keep your eye on just in case.
Oh yeah, it's going to be an interesting time out there.
And the next thing I have here is WordPress has a new AI team. What they're planning to do actually seems really cool. So there's a lot of great information in the article as a whole. I would recommend you go and read it to get a better understanding. The main thing I get from this is how they are working on making the AI section a plugin first. So they're trying to make it so that the AI team is planning on starting with canonical plugins and shared developer tools rather than pushing AI features directly into WordPress core.
Thank God.
The AI team, yeah. The AI team wants to create an infrastructure that makes it easier for others to build with AI WordPress without having to solve the same problems repeatedly.
Yeah.
I think this is very promising. I hope that they stick to this and that they don't ever put it into the core.
Yeah.
Making it a plugin style is actually just brilliant.
Yeah, well, that's what they should have done with Gutenberg.
Yeah.
But instead they crammed it into the core. So at any rate,
it does seem that they learned from the Gutenberg issue.
maybe we'll see. But yeah, it is interesting. I caught bits and pieces of this over the last week, and since it was announced, and it's like, yeah, I kind of look forward to it. I mean, AI, it's here. It's not going away. If you don't learn how to use it, you can go farm. Because, go be a farmer, electrician, a plumber, a welder. AI is not going to touch those jobs.
So another thing I have here is just a quick note on something called Sponsor Me WP. It was launched to help WordPress contributors get funded. What it is it's a directory board where people can list all of their information, their skills, their availability, and whatnot. And then companies can go looking through this directory list and find who they need and hire you. I think that's brilliant. Cool. Sounds like a really good idea to me. And it was launched, definitely something worth checking out.
Yeah, well, good WordPress job board. Nice.
Yeah. And then the last thing I have here for today, minus all the extras I have, is PHP, the dark horse no one saw coming in AI agents development. Now, this is a really cool article I came across, and I had not thought about this myself at all. Think about how much PHP has changed. It's like a PHP renaissance out there, right?
Well, yeah.
So he brings up some really good points, like how had a catastrophic underestimation of PHP's evolution over the past 5 years, how it's going to affect all of the AI creation and the way that it's built, the code it's written in, and everything like that. Like,
Mhm.
well, yeah, I had not thought about that. I mean, think about how much it has affected all of the sites out there.
Yep.
What's it going to do to the AI models? It's kind of really cool, and it's a very interesting article. Definitely worth reading over.
Yeah, well, it is interesting. And of course, they've been predicting the death of PHP every 3 years for the past 30. PHP is 30 years old now.
Yes, and every 3 years or so, it just
It,
upgrades.
it evolves. PHP
Yeah.
has evolved. So, and that's the nice thing about it all.
And just quickly, I now have 3 different places you can go for comics here, because every time I find a new comic source, I throw it in here.
Okay. Yeah, you go
Before
to
we know it, I'll have a list of like 50.
keep bringing them in. Humor is always a good thing. Let's see what's on WP Shout Comics. There you go. Developer comics, front end developer, back end developer. That one's actually good.
Yep.
All right.
Actually, my favorite one, click on my favorite one today, because that one's really good too.
Oh, my favorite one. Which one's that?
The very end, my favorite today is this one.
Oh, this
It's
one.
at the end.
Oh, okay. Your
Yep.
favorite today, this one. All right.
Yep.
Wow. Your last comment improved our backend performance by 10x. I know. He totally unrelated question. Do you know if we back up our database?
Yeah, totally unrelated question.
Absolutely. Clean that database right up. All right. With all of that, there is a whole ton of extras there, and there'll be a ton of extras flowing into the Rogue's Corner. Now, I'm not going to cover most of what I got in here because some of it's duplicated, but you know, the WordPress has turned 22, the new federated repo theme, the FAIR project. I have a whole ton of more links in here that lead you to multiple articles and multiple discussions about it. And one in particular, we'll pop that one up. The Linux Foundation is working to play tries to play peacekeeper in the ongoing WordPress. They brought in the Linux Foundation to manage the FAIR project, which is kind of a change from everything.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's bringing in a neutral organization with a separate board to oversee this project. And there's even more articles in here on all of this. And there's a couple of articles in here about Matt's reaction to the FAIR project, which is a good one. And this one here breaks it down, all the questions he got that Matt had, and what his response and his answers that he gave at WordCamp Europe. And at the bottom, you can watch the interview that he gave, the presentation. So worth taking some time to go look at that. Now, because of this project and everything else, I interviewed him last week, Robert DeVore, a loud voice, a really great developer, and an interesting fellow. Go check out the interview I did with him last week. We had some really good discussions, mostly around AI and other things, but he gave a eulogy, leaving WordPress community and dropping off of it, which is a shame. Sad to see him go. Hopefully he changes his mind, but he doesn't seem to be a person that does. He sets his mind one direction and away he goes, from what little I know about him.
Well, whatever direction he goes, it's bound to be fantastic. So we should definitely keep an eye on him.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on him because he will have things that could probably be used in this community still. A couple of other quick things I have in here. We got some privacy trends for 2025. And this is a really good one to dig down deep into. We've got global regulations, more regulations from states and provinces. So you'll want to read over this article to find out what's happening. And if you need to, look at getting something like Termageddon, which we talk about later on. All right. And of course, the big announcement from Matt earlier this week is that WordPress has unpaused their development. and they're back in the fold of development. He even made mention at WordCamp that he thought there might be a WordPress 6.9 out before the end of this year.
Hmm.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Of everything I saw, I missed that one somehow.
Yeah, well, that's because of the titles I give it, or the headlines I give it. You know, they don't make any sense to you. All it said was WordPress returns to the fold. That can mean anything.
I was just talking about the way I've been scouring the net for
the nets.
news,
Oh.
and I somehow missed that one bit.
Oh, okay. And then I've got a couple of other quick ones here. There's a nice malware warning out there about legitimate plugins hiding in plain sight on your website. So keep an eye on those sort of thing. This is something I tweeted about, got in a discussion with somebody about on Twitter this morning. It's called Fluent Cart. I saw a preview demo video on this one this morning. This, in my own opinion, is going to be a challenger to WooCommerce for WordPress. They don't have it perfected yet. They're in beta stage, beta testing right now, and they haven't released anything. But the one video that was done, and I'll go find that and drop that link in here. I should have grabbed that link for the video I did this morning. But it explains it very well, and it looks like it's going to be quite fantastic. And it is a full e-commerce plugin to be inside your WordPress site. The discussion I had with somebody was talking about WP, another e-commerce thing, and I went and looked it up and said, that's not an e-commerce plugin for WordPress. That's to bring your Shopify cart over into WordPress. Not the same thing. Two different things. Because if your stuff's all on Shopify, you're still dependent on Shopify to deliver all of your products.
Yes.
So, at any rate, so there's that happening. Now, there was something that Yoast put out, and it's Yoast, not Used, as you pronounced earlier. It's Yoast, as in toast.
I'm sorry, I totally messed that up.
He wrote an article talking about, is innovation in WordPress dwindling in WordPress plugins? And this is a really interesting article to go check out and research. But in my opinion, it's not. The innovation is coming on big and strong, and it started last fall.
Yeah, I've noticed a bit of a renaissance for WordPress since last fall.
Yeah, well, part of that renaissance is also due to AI helping people code.
Yes.
That one there is a massive thing. So anyway, it's an interesting article. Go check it all out. A final one I've got here is an educational one. And this is for those of you developing out there, how to tame scope creep in your WordPress development. And this is a good article to help you deal with clients. And if you've developed even a single website, you know what project creep or scope creep is. You start in one thing and the client goes, hey, how about this? How about this? How about this? How about this? And then you got to, hey, wait, I've quoted you on this. Now this is going to cost you extra money. And then they start balking. It's like, wait, well, I don't get $10,000 worth of work for a measly $5,000? No, that's not how it works. So at any rate, it's a really good article to check out. So at any rate, go check all of that out. There's a ton of news this week, so much so that we could spend the next hour just on news, but we won't.
Yeah, we spent long enough on news today.
We did. It's longer than it's been in a long
so
time.
Much.
Yeah, longer than it's been in a long time. All right, with that, let's dive into the real fun, talking about the plugins we have this week. Now, the first one I've got for you this week is one I discovered this last week when I was working to build up the custom website I was building for our market. And it was a way to allow people to put stuff, to go through the front end, create a post nice and cleanly, have it inserted into my advanced custom post types, and then be able to use that data to display it all nice and pretty. This plugin is called Registration, User Profile, Membership, Content Restriction, User Directory, and Front-End Post Submission, WP User Front-End. I had to find one that just had a mile-long name because we had such a short title this week.
Yeah, well, WP User Front-End must have been taken up already.
No. Well, maybe, I don't know. But at any rate, this just helps them be found better in the mess that is the WordPress repos search function. All right, what this plugin does for you, it works on its own to do what you want it to do, but it works wonders when combined with Advanced Custom Pro or Advanced Custom Fields. I have the Pro version. So at any rate, what it does for you allows you to go through and create a front-end membership login page with a membership page showing their membership account, to where if you allow them to create posts to the front end, once they've done all that, they can go back in and edit those posts, but you can control how they edit those. If they edit it, it goes back into the approval. It doesn't automatically get republished. So this way you can prevent somebody come in with something innocuous to get approved, come in and do a whole bunch of cool, strange shit that doesn't belong and mess things up. So it does that.
Beautiful.
It's got the user profile from the front end editing. It's got a lot of useful tools, and it is customizable. They do have a pro version of it, but as per times when a free version gives me everything I need. Now there's some things I want, but I haven't justified the cost yet. As soon as I can justify the cost, I will buy the pro. But when it gives you everything you need in the free version, that's when we have to do something like give this one a 5 dragon rating. Go check it out. It's a really fantastic plugin for building that front-end access for your website that needs membership access. Oh, one other piece I forgot. It will allow you to have guest posts too.
Oh, brilliant.
They don't have to actually create an account. They can just submit a guest
Cool.
post if you want to do that too. All right, then.
Every time I hear that, I think of a couple different things. One, fella got shot out of a cannon and is going to land in water. Or two, I saw this video of a guy in one of those big machines that has like the grabby arm, and it was holding an old plane in a junkyard and just spinning around holding the plane in the arm. I like that one too.
That's kind of cool.
So for the WordPress tips, we would love to hear some tidbit tips from you guys, the people who are listening. Send us in your tips. I'm running out of things to say and they're getting kind of silly. So send us in. What did you figure out by breaking something? Or what did you need to learn in order to help someone else fix something? Or what have you experienced? What's some advice that you would like to give your younger self? Well, send it in to us. We'll give it out to the younger people. My tip to you today. I have talked quite a bit over the last year about making sure to detach from the computer and spend time outside with family, friends, and get some sunshine and everything. But there is also the flip side of that, where you shouldn't be afraid to jump into the tech world head first and block out the rest of the world either. Like sometimes diving head first into your work, just throwing on those headphones and turning up the tunes and blocking out your family and friends and the outside world is exactly what you need. So don't be afraid to do that too. It's perfectly okay to use work and the world of the internet to escape from life, just like it's okay to use life to escape from work, which when you're in this industry is the world of the net and online. There is a balance that you have to find. But once you find that balance, you no longer need to feel guilty like, oh my God, my teenagers, I want to strangle them and hang them from by their toes up on the roof. Well, just go to work. Ignore them, go to work. That's what I do now. It's great. There's a wonderful balance there. It is totally okay to do that. Don't feel guilty about that. But on the flip side, you can't always stay in work. You have to detach from work and go back to your family and friends in the real world outside. There is a balance. Eventually, you will strike that balance. Just don't be afraid to dive in both ways. Otherwise, you're never going to find that balance. That's about all.
Okay. All right. With that being said, then I guess it's time for you.
All right. So this is called Highlight, Simple Front-End Text Highlighter. It's actually, it was the very first plugin I saw when I went searching. So it is a brand new, fresh, out-of-the-box plugin. And I thought it might actually be really useful, especially for sites that are dedicated to research, educational, how-tos, all those kind of things that people would like to take notes in. So when you install and activate this, you will find the dashboard for the plugin under Settings. then highlight. On this dashboard, you have simple yet effective options. It can enable this for posts, pages, media, my templates, or products. It's a simple checkbox. Either you enable it or you don't. You hit save changes and off you go. Now, the way that you use this is on the front end. You find a word, you highlight it, and then you'll have a bunch of options that pop up in a little blurb box. What you'll see is search, copy, snapshot, and a couple of internet options of explore more or translate. So I decided to try the explore more with the word doohickey. And actually, I got a really good explanation. There's been plenty of times where I've tried something like this and I try the explore more. It doesn't really give me much of anything, but I got general term for small object whose name is unknown or forgotten, often used in casual or informal text. Synonyms include thingamajig, what's it, or widget. Pretty dead on. There's more information there. You can go and have a look at if you want. I thought it was awesome. Now, if you click on the word highlight, it will highlight it yellow for you so you can more easily find it when completing your lesson notes or whatever you're taking the notes for. To get rid of the highlight, you just click on the highlighted word and you'll see a little red button with the image of a garbage can. Click on the garbage can and your page will be highlighter free. It's a really simple and fantastically well-made tool. It's lightweight and it's totally free. Well, it has this free version right here. Gives you everything you need to initially get started and help yourself and your viewers out. Now, in the pro version, there's a lot more benefits, like the ability to add text notes, choose a color, docx and print support. There's just so much more available. The very basics of this is great for your site if it is, like I said, an educational form site. Try out the free version. If you find that it helps the people who you work with, definitely go and have a look at the pro version because it's a reasonable price and it works really well. I tried this out on my worst site, no problem. It was so happy, plays so nicely with others. For the time being, I rate this at 4 dragons. We'll see what happens when I manage to check out the pro version.
Could be very useful.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Better day, believe it.
Here you go.
Ah, some kind of sound.
Oh,
Awesome.
Let's try it again.
Better day, believe it. Be ready, be the one.
Here you go.
There we go. I heard the whole thing that time.
Okay.
Very nice. So some miscellaneous announcements. If anyone out there has an announcement they'd like to have read out to the world, like you'll be on the stage at a WordCamp or something, let us know. We'll read it out on here and get it out to the world for you. Currently, we have the next 5 WordCamps that are happening. And we have a link to the meetups where you can find a meetup that is local to you. And do we have a jingle for this?
It's time to donate.
Oh, not for the affiliates, no.
Yeah, no.
We don't have the
Affiliate.
We don't have an affiliate jingle yet. Here you go.
Okay.
Let's try this.
Squirrel!
There you go. Run around. All right.
I guess.
The affiliates we have. Yes, we have affiliates for you. What we've got is we have 3 affiliate companies. I'm considering bringing in a 4th one, and that may happen over the next week. But currently, we start with Termageddon. These ones here is the way to manage the policies. Go read that article I talked about earlier, which is how privacy is changing across the globe. This is a plugin, not exactly a plugin, but it is a tool that you sign up in a service that helps you keep all of your policies up to date without an army of lawyers, because they already have an army of lawyers doing it for you. So it's a really great tool, very affordable. Costs about $115 US, and just a great tool. And we use it ourselves on our site, and several of our clients are now using this to help them manage their privacy policies. So go check out Termageddon.
And we have Rank Math, which is a really awesome SEO plugin. The free version gives you everything you need to get started in your SEO. If you want to take it up a notch and really work on your SEO, you'll need to go pro, though. They treat everyone the same, whether you are pro or free version person, they still treat you like a human in their customer service. It's really nice. I always point that out because so many plugins, if you're a free version, they treat you horribly if you try to get a hold of them.
All right.
But yeah, so, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it's gone now.
Oh,
You
okay.
interrupted me. The thought ran away. You scared it away.
I thought you were done talking, so you had a pause for seemed long enough to talk. All right, the final one we got is bunny.net. And bunny.net is a CDN system or CDN network that is affordable. It doesn't have massive bills for hosting all of your big data stuff that you have on your website, such as the large pictures, videos, audio. All of our audio for our podcast is now delivered through BunnyNet. And the nice thing about it is it helps us track where it's being downloaded in the world. So it's got stats in there. And even if you go through gigabytes of data a month, it still only costs you a few bucks at the most. I mean, we have one of our clients that use it. They go through gigabytes of data and it's cost them less than $5 a month to use. So go check out bunny.net, an affordable, very fast CDN network with lots of things going in on it. Use our affiliate links on all of these. We make a buck. You pay the same, no matter what happens. Other than that, let's move on to the proper jingle.
It's time to donate to WP Plugins A-Z.
Okay. Tech issue on their side. Never mind.
What?
For a moment, I saw lost the volume. Anyone else? But then they said, never mind, tech issue on my side. So,
Oh, okay. Blame them.
So, for donations, producership credits, they are a thing. They actually exist, and we offer them to those who donate through time, talent, or treasure. We're not picky. You can use these credits to boost up your resume, add to your LinkedIn files, so on and so forth, wherever they're useful. And even if you're not interested in receiving a producership credit, check out how you can use us as your own stepping ladder in the world of the internet to get yourself an interview, get your name out there, have us make an announcement for you. Let the world know you have something to say or a company worth checking out. Let us know. And you can have a look through our site, WPPluginsAtoZ.com. Check out the time, talent, and treasure pages to figure out what there is if you're interested in donating. Today's plugins we covered were...
I covered up the registration, user profile, membership, content restriction, user directory, and front-end post submission. WP User Front End by Tariq Hansen.
And I covered highlighter, which I forgot to put all the information down. So I'm just going to go to the top here for a moment.
Okay. Well, at least you got mine.
So highlight simple front end text highlighter by Sacred WP. Their site is actually really cool. Definitely recommend checking that out. You can highlight text in a yellow with a single click. Enable or disable specific post types yourself. So they can only do this on some things, and automatically deactivates if Highlight Pro is active, which is an interesting thing to point out. I guess that's an issue with some plugins.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, but that is a specialty thing that they do point out. So I guess it's good to know. And I rated this at 4 dragons. Give me just one moment here. If you are interested in reaching out to us, you can send us something through our brick and mortar address, or you can send us something over the email because we have it all right here just for you. On to the questions.
It's question and answer time with John and Amber.
So if anyone out there has any questions they'd like to have asked here on the show, feel free to send them in to me. I'm more than happy to put up your questions rather than continue trying to figure out my own questions to ask. I mean, I'm never going to stump him again. I did it once. That's it. I think that's my number. But maybe somebody else will be able to stump him. That'd be cool.
You're working on it. You're working on it.
First question. Do you know anything about the free AI image things out there? They will resize your image smaller and or larger for free. Absolutely free, actually. They don't even require you to sign up. And what do you think they are getting out of this, that they offer this service for absolutely free?
What do you mean by do I know anything about them? I don't understand the question.
Okay, so there's a bunch of different There's a bunch of different little things that have been popping up everywhere.
Mhm.
If you go into Google and you search resize image free, you'll
Mhm.
have a whole bunch of these sites that are just an
Oh,
AI that will
okay.
fix your image for you.
Okay.
And it is so free.
Mhm.
You don't even have to sign up.
Yeah.
And they just continue doing this for you. There's no limit on some of them. What are they getting out of this if they provide the service for free, do you think?
Okay. Um, you're landing on someone's webpage and uploading the image, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
often.
How many ads do you see running around the sides of the page?
A couple of them, none.
Really?
Yeah.
I've used these services you're talking about occasionally when I need something done that I just don't feel like doing myself. But most of them, what they're getting out of it is the ad revenue, because there is a cost, as you know from ChatGPT. When you start seriously using it, you have to sign up for an account and create an account. They are still
Yes.
connecting their API to a AI service, whether it's ChatGPT, Grok, or Claude, or whatever. And so they have to buy credits, and it takes X number of credits per image being used. So they got to pay for that. So what they're usually getting out of it more than anything else is they're getting that ad revenue from running all the ads on there. Other than that, there's absolutely nothing they're getting out of it unless they just happen to have money to burn and they want to do this out of the goodness of their heart.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like a couple of them that I've seen, they have 0 ads and like it's just weird.
That is the weird part, if they have 0 ads, because usually they've got a fair number of ads that are on constant reload. So by the time it takes you to get it all done, they have reloaded the ads several times. So they've made several different, chunks of small change on their site. But that's the only thing I can
Yeah.
think of. There is no other thing to get out of it if they're not collecting your email address for mailing lists or some other way to monetize it. The only monetization is by running ads.
Influence WP has said no ads twice, so I'm not sure if that's him imitating or
No ads,
trying
no
to make a
ads.
point.
We would need a little more clarification on that, Ryan, because that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, so the only thing I could think of was maybe the AI was getting some training or something.
Yeah.
Most AI services I see have limits on the usage that becomes frustrating after a while. That encourages you to sign up to a paid tier. Apart from that, they're training the AI on your using of it. Yes, kind of the only thing I can think of.
That would be another one too. I hadn't thought about that part, is they could be using the images for training AI. Because you are submitting that image to AI, and once you submit, you're probably agreeing to some terms of service underneath that we can now use your image for AI training.
Actually, on one of them, I checked, one of them specifically that I'm thinking about, I checked that out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like, oh no, it's totally private, everything like that. So Ryan said, are you seeing the links? So not seeing any links. I'm guessing the no ads was him trying to point out that just because you don't see the ads doesn't mean that the ads aren't there.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Well,
that's what it is.
maybe. I don't know. Could be. Don't have any.
Unless I'm totally wrong in my understanding of that, please correct me if I am.
Yep. Please correct us and help us clarify that out. All right. Next question.
Next question is, what are your thoughts on the WordPress AI team? Do you think they're going to keep the AI additions in plugin format, or do you think they're eventually going to shove the AI into the core? Because I know that that's my biggest worry, is they're going to shove it into the core.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You have more experience in this, so I'm curious about your opinion.
It all depends on what gets up Matt's craw, because initially Gutenberg started as a plugin.
Yeah.
And it was people asked to keep it that way, but he got it a bug up his bee in his bonnet, where he wanted to make it part of the core because he saw what was happening in Wix and Squarespace for website builders. And he wanted to have this block builder that these guys have. And he absolutely insists upon full site editing for WordPress. And it's all got to be done in Gutenberg. So he crammed it into the core when it wasn't ready to be in the core. Now, as far as the AI going into the core, well, if they perfect the plugin to the point where it works well and there's an easy way to turn it on and off for people that don't want AI on their websites, because not everybody wants AI in their website doing shit for them.
Yes, that's true.
So, if they do that and they cram it into the core, hopefully they do it once it's mature enough to go into the core. The things that should go into WordPress core should be the mature stuff, the stuff that is stable and mature, that has been built out as a plugin. And when you add it as a plugin, it's nice, stable, and mature. But unfortunately, at different points in time, they've gone through and crammed something in the core that shouldn't have been there.
Okay.
So,
So
it's a toss-up at the moment what they're going to do.
I hope they keep it as a plugin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the end of that. So next 2 questions after the song.
Yep, we got a couple of questions coming up after the outro for those of you listening on the downloads, and we got a couple of comments here on the YouTubes. We'll address those after we come back from letting our girl take us on out. So those of you listening on the downloads, go over to the YouTube channel to hear something that could be a very long discussion.
It's question.
That's the wrong button.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at WPPluginsAtoZ.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A-Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to WPPluginsAtoZ.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using WPPluginsAtoZ.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsAtoZ. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today. Alrighty, we're out of that, and we're back to the YouTubes with me showing off my new redesign of johnoverall.com, which has the archives, everything going back 16 years.
It is pretty awesome.
Actually, it goes back longer than that. The site goes all the way back to 2008, and there's a lot of entertaining stuff there. You'd have to go into my old Dragon Post archives and just scroll through. Even nice thing about it, though, is I managed to set it up so that you go in and it's the echoes of the void.
Mm-hmm.
Go read my spam poetry back when I used to write spam poetry.
Yeah, some of those are quite entertaining.
Well, it was back in the days when I just couldn't control the spam, so I decided to take it, and I used a headline from multiple spam emails to create poetry. Not very good poetry, but entertaining nonetheless. So
Well, we've all been there, so.
I can't write poetry, but I can entertain. Anyway, I had to show it off because I've spent lots of time trying to figure out how to redesign this site and finally got it.
So the next question I have is, WP Shout has free courses for WordPress development. Do you think these courses will help anyone? Or do you think they'll only really help those who are kind of newer and just confuse those who have already learned a lot through their own experience of breaking and repairing things?
They will help anyone. Proof to that is this morning I watched a video on the very beginnings of how you set up an Elementor website. You know, how to set up and use Elementor. And funny enough, he had one little tidbit in there I didn't know. And the thing is, no matter how much experience you have, even the basics of someone's courses might teach you something. You might learn one little tidbit you hadn't known or something you overlooked in all your time. There's always something to learn, always. And even if it's not something new to learn, it's maybe refresh your memory about something that you had used once but forgot. So the courses are good for anyone and everyone. I watch these things all the time, no matter who they are. If it's something that's interesting, it's like, yeah, why not? Sometimes I'll play them off to the side and listen while I'm doing other work, but still, always,
Like,
always good.
For WP Shout, they have everything from WP Query to object-oriented PHP
Mhm.
to WordPress theme development core concepts. Like, they have a little bit of everything here, and it's actually really cool. I think I'm going to start taking all the free courses because WP Shout has some pretty good courses that I've taken over time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, keep taking them because they're always going to be helpful. There's never a loss in taking all the free courses.
my next question is, do you think SEO is something that everyone should learn the basics of these days? Or do you think a person with no interest in bothering will do just fine with their own site in the world?
Well, you need to learn the basics, and you need to learn how the basics have changed with the advent of AI. So you need to learn the basics on what to do, and the basics. Well, the most basic of it all is make sure you write your content for humans.
Yeah.
And that has held true since day one of the internet, even when it's gone in and out of vogue over the years. When people are like, oh, write for the machine, write for the SEO algorithm, write for this. And then it's like, then they come back and say, oh, write for humans. It's like, yeah. It's the reason why my website, johnoverall.com, consistently ranked very high over the years. It would drop down from time to time when the algorithms would be messed with, but it would always rise back up. And that was because, for the most part, every bit of my content was written for humans. It was not written for machines.
And that's another aspect too, is the more content you have, the more written content, the better.
Yeah, especially now with the AIs doing the searching.
Unfortunately.
AIs love the content. So if you want to be found, you got to do that. And yeah, learn the basics, because you should know the basics at the minimum on your website. You should set up the basics for rank math, set up the basics so you get the basics all covered. You can worry about the advanced stuff as you have time and or money, whichever you want to do. Either to be advanced in SEO, you either have to have lots of time on your hand, or you have to have money to hire someone such as WP Pro A-Z to help manage your SEO for you and help point you in the right direction. So it's one of the two. You either got to have time or money. So, and that's to go into the advanced stuff, which can help you work. Like if you've got a website that's got lots of competition and you're using your website to make your living from, or help supplement and increase your living, you may need to dive into the SEO. Yeah, well, that's a good comment, Hemdian. SEO is for attracting traffic. If you already have all the audience you want, then serve them. Don't worry about the SEO, but most people need more audience. Well, it's most people want, but many people don't realize they don't need more audience. They want more audience because, let's face it, the internet has turned the world into a shit ton of narcissists.
Yeah, everyone wants to go viral.
Everyone wants to go viral, and they want their 15 seconds of fame. It's dropped down from the old 15 minutes of fame that Andy Warhol said in the future, everyone would have 15 minutes of fame. Well, now it's 15 seconds of fame when you go viral.
Well, considering the goldfish brains these days.
Well, that's the whole point, is that we've got goldfish brains, so it's 15 seconds of fame. I mean, you can go watch the latest viral thing, and it's out there, and then like 3 days later, it's like, what was that viral video all about? This is where we're at in the world today, unfortunately.
Should be entertaining over the next decade or so.
It's going to be so entertaining with AI.
I'll bring the popcorn. You bring the pop.
You bet, man. Just sit down back and chew popcorn and have some soda pop to enjoy it. All right. Well, thanks everyone for showing up. We greatly appreciate everyone and all the viewers that showed up to listen to us. This is where we hit the end, and we look forward to seeing you all on the next show. And don't forget, next week I have an interview show, and I can't remember who it's with, but it will be starting at noon. That being said, a little bit of music, carry us on out of here. Oh, wrong one.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
Alrighty, folks, that's all we got. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Oh my god, that is amazing!
Oh no. Obviously, we just lost the satellite feed.